You know those people on Facebook that you don't even know that try to add you? Let's just say I'm one of those people. It all started about a year ago, I think. But I can't really remember since a lot of things has happened since then. Let's just start at the beginning. I never really had any intention to join Facebook. I was a first class loner and seldom had any friends. I didn't want to humiliate myself by letting the whole world know how much of a loser I was, but I was persuaded after hearing everyone talk about it. Not to me, of course, but rather around me, just loud enough for me to be able to hear. I hated how no one ever talked to me. It was like I didn't even exist or something. Like my very existence meant nothing to those fuckers. I was tired of being a complete outcast, so I decided to create my own Facebook. It was scary at first, letting the entire world know what I was doing. I was basically giving up my privacy and freedom to try to finally fit in. The irony of the whole thing was that I was afraid of letting stalkers and serial killers know that I was up to, but I'll get to why that statement turned out to be ironic later. Anywho, at first Facebook seemed very foreign to me. I had zero messages, zero notifications, and zero friend invites. It was just like the real world. Only this time, the whole world could see me. But regardless, I worked up my courage and started exploring the site. I still remember the first thing I did when I started using it. I remember it so clearly. The game about the fishes. You know the game, right? That game was my favorite. I used to spend hours on it. I would buy countless fishes and then not feed them and watch them die. Watching the fish die was so much fun. I would have probably stayed there forever if not a friend request. I can't believe it. Somebody wanted to be my friend. I eagerly clicked the accept button. It was the best feeling I could ever describe. So, here's where my story begins. After I clicked on his profile, I saw that Facebook was really all about. He had countless statuses, all with at least 5 likes each. I so wanted that. So I began to snoop in his friend list and added every single person that he was friends with. It took about 5 minutes or hours, but it was worth it. Before long, my page has grown from 1 friend to nearly 12. And those who had accepted were my friends. I knew absolutely nothing about them, but I was friends with them on Facebook. I learned everything. I passed the first 2 weeks adding all the people who my friends knew, and once they became my friends, I added everyone they knew. Yes, my popularity was growing. People finally began to know who I was. It was so wonderful. The kids at my school even started talking to me. It was insane. It was just plain bizarre. I began to fall in love with Facebook. Addicted, if you will. I hated not being on it. The thought of not knowing what everyone was doing or what they was thinking was overwhelming. I hated it. The fucking school hours seemed like spending an eternity in hell. But I spent every single moment I had free on the site. I began dreaming about using it, and soon enough I stopped dreaming altogether. I developed insomnia, which was great for me because I knew I could spend an infinite amount of time on Facebook, especially since the school year had just ended. It was sweet to be able to spend every single waking moment of my life on Facebook. But spending so much time on it allowed me to see the dark side of Facebook. There were people who wouldn't accept my request, as in tens and of thousands, and yet still I only had 2,000 friends. It was obvious that those people had something against me. Why else would they not have be friends with me? Yes. Why else? There had to be a solution to all of this. All of this madness. It was obvious. Yes. It was so clear then. All I had to do was get rid of them. I still remember my first victim. So innocent. Truly I had nothing against her. She was so young and beautiful. I still remember those eyes. Those piercing black eyes. The thing I remember about her most, though, was how much she bled and how much she screamed. It was a different feeling I felt then killing that girl, and I relived it every time I chose a new victim. Come to think of it, I just sent you a friend request. I think twice about denying it if I was you.